Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a video here to make my thoughts known, if anybody gives a shit, about something that I did not know about until yesterday, but I thought was very curious. And I thought many of you might have not known about this either. It seems like, not like a deep web thing, but like a thing that people are talking about deeply on the internet, in deep hidden places of the internet. Mainly Kevin Smith's podcast, which I don't say that to dash him, even though I really want to, because he's a shill, he's a scumbag. But apparently at some point he got his hands on the rumored copy, the version, the original director's cut from Joel Schumacher of Batman Forever, the third Batman film. I assume this is supposed to be a tie-in with Batman 89, Batman Returns. The Flash movie kind of makes you doubt that, but Batman Forever, I always liked it as a kid. I liked Batman and Robin more, though. I know that's a sin, but I was a child. I didn't know any better. It was made to be a toy commercial, and this one kind of was, too. But apparently Kevin Smith is going around telling his audience, I guess, or something. I saw this in an article yesterday. A couple of articles, as a matter of fact, talking about how there's a 170-minute cut that Joel Schumacher originally made for his director's version of Batman Forever that Kevin Smith wants to get out to the public. Now there's like a Twitter hashtag that's been started called Release the Schumacher Cut, in reference to the Snyder Cut that all of us loved so much. I'm gonna be honest with you, there are some movies out there, like David Ayer's cut of the Suicide Squad, that I could give less of a shit about seeing. Maybe it'll be better, I don't know, I doubt it. His situation seems like a ripoff of the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder got genuinely fucked by Warner Brothers. They ripped him off. They were originally going to make the film into two parts, Justice League, I mean. And then they turned around and said, okay, well, his daughter, had her tragedy, was very sad. I love Zack Snyder. I think he took his time away from the project, obviously. They basically said, okay, well, Joss Whedon, come and finish it up, wrap it up for a 2-hour movie and put it in the theaters. Which completely went against the plan that Snyder and everybody else had, and I think it completely went to their own folly and showed how bad they fucked up, because people in history forever will now look at things like Disney and Star Wars and talk about how much of a missed opportunity it was, and same thing with Warner Brothers' original theatrical release of Justice League. But the Snyder Cut reigns supreme for sure, and I guarantee you that Joel Schumacher could do the same thing with Batman Forever, even though Mr. Schumacher is dead. Let me give you a little bit of history in case you don't know about Mr. Schumacher. I'm a huge fan of the guy. I think he is one of the best filmmakers ever made. I love his style, I love what he does, I love how he does it. For example, let me tell you 2 movies of his that absolutely are some of my favorite movies ever of all time. 3 of them, actually. I'll give you 3 examples of some of my favorite movies of all time that aren't Batman movies that he made. If you're familiar with Schumacher's career, you probably know about these movies. If you're not familiar with him, or you don't give a shit about directors, you'll love this. So, first example ever is Flatliners. Flatliners is a hell of a movie about people tinkering around with the afterlife and trying to basically kill themselves by, when you go to the hospital and you go to, they do the electrical paddles on you to bring you back to life, to resuscitate you. These kids, Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, some other folks, they're messing around with this in college. They're med students. Really crazy-ass movie. Really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Number 2, we got The Lost Boys, which I think is easily the best vampire film up there, alongside Fright Night. Both of these, to me, are the OG. I like them even more than I do Dracula, for example, with Bela Lugosi. They're incredible. The Lost Boys is a hell of a teenager's movie, a hell of a horror movie. It can be scary, it's mainly a comedy, it's really fun. It's such a good summertime movie. I plan on rewatching those and reviewing them for the channel in the next couple of days, but we'll see what happens. What my schedule looks like over the weekend might be a little busy. We're having a family cookout again for some birthdays, so it might be a little crazy. But I'm going to try to get around to some of those this weekend. I love The Lost Boys. I think it's easily Schumacher's best movie. Schumacher made a hell of a movie out of that. His third film I'd like to talk to you about is called Phone Booth, starring Colin Farrell and Kiefer Sutherland. Holy shit, if you haven't seen that movie, it's one of the best thrillers I've ever seen in my life. People try to weirdly trash on it now, and it's a great flick. Basically, Colin Farrell answers a phone in a phone booth in New York City when there were still phone booths, And he gets trapped in there by a sniper outside in one of the buildings that are aiming right at him. The sniper proves like, hey, I'm aiming at you. He sees the red dot. He sees windows getting shot at around him. And people seem to think that Colin Farrell might have something to do with this, but we're watching everything go and unfold through his eyes. It is one hell of a movie. It's one of those movies that I remember seeing the commercials for back when I was a kid. I didn't get to see the movie until I was about a teenager age, like 15, 16, 17, but it's remained one of my favorite thrillers alongside Ray Liotta and Narc. Seven, the Saw franchise, something like that. But anyway, I say all that to say this. Joel Schumacher is a hell of a filmmaker. When you see one of his movies, you don't forget it. And again, I still think the style of Batman Forever is a nice, more child-friendly update in some ways. Not always, but some ways, compared to the Tim Burton, very dark, gothic films that I also love from Batman. Now, I know Batman and Robin went a little too far. I blame the studios more than I blame Schumacher. Schumacher even apologized for Batman and Robin before he died. But here you have Jim Carrey, you have Nicole Kidman, you have Tommy Lee Jones, Chris O'Donnell. I love all of these actors and actresses. They're all good. It's just, this movie's a little weird, a little wacky. But I heard that apparently from what Kevin Smith has told his podcast and his followers and whatever, the people who still fucking are listening to the guy, I'm not one of them anymore, Kevin Smith told people that this movie is 170 minutes long, almost 3 hours. Holy shit, it's a long time. He said introductions like with Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face in the film are delayed by like another 15 minutes. Like there's so much in this movie that's missing, that's in this new cut that Kevin Smith is talking about. Apparently there's a possibility that Warner Brothers doesn't want to release it because they don't have enough of like, they really don't know if there's enough support for this that people would want to see it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I love fucking Joel Schumacher's work. If anybody on this planet wants to see this movie, that grew up on Batman Forever just as much as Batman and Robin, even though I like that movie more, or at least I did when I was a kid, it's me. I want to see this movie. I want to see the Schumacher cut. And if I had Twitter, I would be posting that damn hashtag every single day because we finally got it with Snyder's cut. Maybe we won't get it with this. The Snyder cut, I still think that Red Letter Media got it right about it only getting a release because it was during COVID. The pandemic had everybody limited on what they could do. Snyder had nothing to do. He just wrapped this up with Warner Brothers and released it, and it was a huge hit. And even if you don't make a ton of money off of this, there are guaranteed to be people who want to see this movie. I had heard about the Schumacher cut many years ago, back on my favorite, at the time, YouTuber's channel, who now deleted his videos, Blows Himself Up Dude, or Brown Coat Eric, if you know him from Geekvolution, he shows up there every once in a while. He had brought up this whole thing about what they were going to do with this movie, and holy shit, dude, it sounds awesome. I've really wanted to find out what could happen, and again, Schumacher's work alone stands for how good this movie could have been. And Akiva Goldsman, I believe, also wrote the movie Batman Forever, so he was tied to it as well. If you don't know Akiva Goldsman, dude, you need to learn about Mr. Akiva Goldsman. He's a very good screenwriter, been famous for a very long time, and there's reason for that. I am 1000% down for the Joel Schumacher cut, and I hope it gets a release. Even though Kevin Smith is a fucking shill I can't stand, I hope to God that this movie gets a release at some point. Because I really think that Warner Brothers are sitting on a release that is a total gold mine that could make them a lot of money. And they need it. They need it after shit like The Flash. If they had just abandoned The Flash entirely, which I ranted in 2 different videos about on my channel, if they had gotten rid of that entirely and never did it, and just put out Batman Forever's Joel Schumacher cut, gave it some advertising, I guarantee you it would have made more money than The Flash. I would bet money on it because it's Joel fucking Schumacher. He is a brilliant man and a great filmmaker, R.I.P. Love the guy so much. Can't wait to see if this gets a release. Just want to let you guys know about it too, so you can go on to every comment section just like I did with the Snyder Cut thing and push the shit to everybody on the planet like it's the gospel. Because I want this to get out. I think you guys probably would too. And if it's been a while since you've seen Batman Forever, this is not a bad movie. I like it a lot. I think it's entertaining for what it is. Jim Carrey's a little too much in it. The Riddler with the spandex outfits, it's dumb. I don't like it. I don't like it in the original Adam West show, which it's referencing. It's too much. But the movie itself I like. I like the fact that they wanted to go a little bit gritty and dark with Bruce Wayne. It's a kid-friendly movie more so than the Tim Burton films, but it also wanted to go more into the psychological trauma of Bruce Wayne and his why he went into being Batman. And Val Kilmer, I think, gave a good performance in here too, from what I remember of it. Anyway, it's been a while since I watched it, obviously, because I have it on VHS. It's been a few years, matter of fact. I need to get around and watch these again. All of them. Every Batman movie, and review them. Anyway, Batman Forever. What do you think about the film? Would you love to see the Schumacher cut? I hope to God that it gets a release, because I want to see it so bad. I can't even tell you how bad I want to see it. It sounds fucking rad, dude. Anyway, what do you think about it? What do you think about Schumacher? What do you think about Batman Forever? This cut or the supposed other cut that could exist? I would love to hear everything you guys have to say down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.